Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Vishnupad Paramhan Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Shishi Madhi's Divine Grace Hesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nand Koti Vaishnav Vrind Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrit Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Together Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Madhya Lila, chapter 12, entitled The Cleansing of the Gundicha Temple, text 84. You can repeat behind me. Charidike Shat Bhakta Samarjani Kare Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhanu Sabare Charidike Shat Bhakta Samarjani Kare Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhanu Sabare. I'll just read the translation and then you can recite. Indeed, hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple, Gundicha temple, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others. Yes, please. Charidike Shata Bhakta Samarjani Kare Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhana Sabare. चारिदिक शत भक्त समर्जनी करे अपनी शोधन प्रभु शिखन सवारे चारिदिक शत भक्त समर्जनी करे अपने शोधन प्रभु शिखन सवारे चारिदिक शत भक्त समर्जनी करे अपने शोधन प्रभु शिखन सवारे चारिदिक शत भक्त समर्जनी करे अपने शोधन प्रभु शिखन सवारे चारिदिके all around shata hundreds of bhakta devotees samarjani kare to the cleansing work apni personally shodhena cleanses Prabhu the Lord shikhana sabare teaching all others. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Indeed, hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others. I'll read the purport from verse 135 because in this chapter, in verse 135, the purport to the entire chapter is given. The individual verses do not have purport. So Prabhupada writes also, so commenting upon the Gundicha Marjan Leela. So the entire purport is in one verse of this on this pastime. So I'm reading some section of the purport since it's a long purport from verse 135 of the same chapter. Yes. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada is writing. In commenting on the cleansing of Gundicha temple, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the world leader, was personally giving instructions on how one should receive Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, within one's cleansed and pacified heart. Further, if a devotee at all wants to cleanse his heart, he must chant and hear the glories of Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna. Shinvatam Sokataha Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam 1-17. This is a simple process. Krishna himself will help cleanse the heart because he is already seated there. Very beautifully Prabhupada writes, Krishna wants to continue living. Krishna wants to continue living within the heart, and the Lord wants to give directions. But one has to keep his heart as clean as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept the Gundicha temple. The devotee therefore has to cleanse his heart just as the Lord cleansed the Gundicha temple. In this way, one can be pacified and enriched in devotional service. To give us practical instructions, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cleansed the temple twice. His second cleansing was more thorough. The idea was to throw away all the stumbling blocks on the path of devotional service. He cleansed the temple with firm conviction, as is evident from his using his own personal garment for cleaning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to see personally that the temple was thoroughly cleansed to the standard of clean marble. Clean marble gives a cooling effect. Devotional service means attaining peace from all disturbances caused by material contamination. In other words, it is a process by which the mind is cooled. The mind can be peaceful and thoroughly cleansed when one no longer desires anything but devotional service. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, I want to thank Mother Govind Priya Devi for selecting a very romantic spot. It's a devotionally romantic spot because Vrindavan is a place of Krishna's romance. So, even I was not aware of that there is such a beautiful spot here. I stay here at Govardhaniko village. So, and I am really very grateful for this opportunity to share something on Chaitanya Charitamrita with you all this morning. My heartfelt gratitude to all the organizers and my deep gratitude to all of you for coming this morning. Also seek the blessings of Maharajas here, His Holiness Bhakti Prachar Parivrajak Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Bhakti Charu yes, Bhakti Charu Deshna Maharaj. Sorry, actually I have heard your name, but just so seek your blessings, Maharaj, and blessing of all the other senior devotees, all the assembled devotees, to be able to speak something inspiring and purifying for my own self. So, I thought I'll share something in theme with this GBC Leaders College, something about leadership from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shukdev Goswami several times addresses Parikshit as Rajan, so many times Rajan. In one of the purports, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, one meaning of the word Rajan is one who rules by his good qualities. That means one who rules the hearts of the citizens by his good qualities. So we learn that there are two important aspects of leadership. There are several, but two important aspects which are highlighted in a particular context are competency and character. Competency and character. So yes, we need actually both in leadership. We need both competency and character. But at times Prabhupada would instruct that we can still hire competent people to do the job. There is a lot of competency available even in the market. We can hire people. But we cannot hire people to demonstrate character. We cannot hire people to demonstrate character. So therefore, the out of the two, the character stands out. The character stands out. So I'll speak some qualities of Lord Chaitanya by which he rules over the devotee's heart. And actually, managing the things, leading the things become very easy if the leader is ruling over the hearts of the devotees. So I'll speak, as I said, I'll share certain qualities from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And also coming back to the verse which we just, I'll refer back to this verse also during the course of discussion. So one important quality of a leader is that of gratitude. We see several times in Chaitanya Charitamrita Lord Chaitanya expressing gratitude towards his devotees. In fact, in Maitreya Rishi, speaking to Vidura, says a beautiful verse, Tam sukha aradhyam rajubhir ananya sharanar nirbhir kritagya konu seveta duraradhyam asadubhi. He says, the Lord is easy to be worshipped, sukha aradhyam. The Lord is easy to be worshipped by one who is grateful. One who is grateful. So, with a grateful heart, the bhakti becomes easy and joyful. Sukha aradhyam. Grateful heart, bhakti becomes easy and joyful. So we see that this particular quality in Lord Chaitanya, all the devotees would come every year from Bengal to Jagannath Puri, and they would stay most of the time, or often they would stay for the 4 months of Chaturmas and then return back to Navadvip or to Bengal, because they would come from different places of Bengal, not just Navadvip, which is the main place, but there are other places, Shantipur, Shrikhanda, Kulinagram, from all these places the devotees would come. So when the devotees would be leaving, the Lord would often bid them farewell by speaking very kind words, by speaking very heart-touching words. So on one such occasion, the Lord spoke to the devotees, and he said that you all come every year over here, and in coming and going it would take several weeks each direction. And as we know, traveling is always cumbersome. Even now there is a lot of hassle in travel. What to speak on those days when they had to walk all the way. So Lord Chaitanya is addressing all the devotees by saying, Prativarshe aisa sabe amare dekhite asite jaite dukh pahu bahu mate. You come every year and then go back, travel for several weeks. In coming and going, there is a lot of trouble. And we know also that sometimes the prasadam would be delayed, sometimes the accommodation would be delayed, and Nityananda Prabhu had become angry. There is a pastime. So there would be lot of difficulty, lot of trouble coming and going. And then Lord says, but I am just here, I am sitting here. I want to tell you that don't take the trouble to come every year. I want to tell you that. But I am simultaneously greedy for your association. So therefore I don't tell you. I don't say that. I am greedy for your association. So then he said, but I want to reciprocate. So one aspect of gratitude is to express one's gratitude. But at least by verbally we can express our gratitude by thanking somebody, by appreciating. That is the expression of gratitude. But another aspect of gratitude is to live by gratitude. That means reciprocate the gratitude by doing something. So Lord Chaitanya says, I want to, not just thank you, but I want to live gratitude by doing something for you all. By suitably exchanging something. But then he said, I have nothing actually, because I am a sannyasi. How do I repay this debt? Sannyasi manush mor nahi kon dhan ki diya tomar rin kari mushodhan. How do I repay back your debt? Because I am just a sannyasi. I have nothing. I have no wealth with me. So then he said, but yes, I have this body with me. Dehe matra dhan. This is my dhan. My body is my property in general. So therefore I give this body to you all. Dehe matra dhan tomai kailum samarpan taha vikai yaha bechite tomar man. Therefore now my body belongs to you. You can sell me anywhere you want. So all the devotees, their heart actually melted. All the devotees' heart melted. Speaking this, hearing these words of Lord Chaitanya's heartfelt gratitude, appreciation for all the devotees. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, several places he describes these kind of words of Lord Chaitanya expressing his gratitude to his mother, to the devotees, and so on and so forth. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, this is the nature of the Lord. Very beautiful nature. Like a devotee is supposed to follow the nature of one's master. Any servant is supposed to imbibe the nature of one's master. So what is the nature of the Lord? Lord Chaitanya, who is the leader of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and Prabhupada calls him a world leader. Lord Chaitanya is the ideal world leader. What is nature? Ishvara sabhava bhaktera nalay aprad alpa seva bahu mane atma paryant prasad. His sabhav is, he doesn't take a mistake very seriously. Nalay aparad. He easily neglects the mistake or minimizes the mistake. When there is a great mistake, the Lord minimizes it. Alpa seva bahu mane. If there is a small service, he magnifies it. Consider a small service to be big and a big mistake to be very small. So that is the nature of the Lord. So alpa seva bahu mane. He feels this is great, this service is amazing, the devotee is doing. Alpa seva bahu mane. And then in reciprocation, Atma Prayant Prasad, he gives himself to the devotees, just like here. He says, my body now belongs to you all. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya expresses his gratitude, and all the devotees, their heart just melts and their hearts are surrendered at his lotus feet. Another great example of his gratitude, we know that when Lord Chaitanya wanted to visit Vrindavan, he wanted to go alone. He didn't want anyone to accompany him. But the devotees insisted, someone should be there to carry your water pot, bahirvas, and so on and so forth. Arrange some bhiksha for you. You may be traveling in the forest. There may not be any village. So they said, this Balabhadra Bhattacharya should accompany you. The devotee selected him to Vrindavan. So when the Lord Chaitanya toured Vrindavan for 2 months, and so many people would come to Balabhadra Bhattacharya and tell that, can you arrange Lord Chaitanya to come to my place? Okay. And then he became so bothered over. He said, I can no longer stay here. Right? The job of personal servant is sometimes very difficult, especially a person is personally serving a great personality. That person's job is so difficult. So he said, I can no longer tolerate. He said, people are crowding around the Masa Khai. They are eating up my head. Day and night. You go and sit near Kali Daha under that tamarind tree and observe the beauty of Vrindavan and Yamuna, and everyone is eating up my head. So I can no longer stay here, he says. So then he proposes that we should go now, leave Vrindavan now, then we'll get to bathe in Triveni Sangam in the month of Magh Snan. Of course, Lord Chaitanya has no attraction for Magh Snan, but he kinds of proposes, we'll be able to take Magh Snan in Triveni at Prayag if we leave Vrindavan now. So although Lord Chaitanya did not want to leave, but he felt obliged. What does the Lord says? Tumi amayani dekhaila Vrindavan. You have brought me to Vrindavan, and because of you I could see Vrindavan. I will not be able to repay back this debt. Therefore, since you say we should leave Vrindavan, we will leave Vrindavan. So although Lord Chaitanya had no desire to leave Vrindavan, but he felt grateful for the service of Balabhadra Bhattacharya, and he decided to leave Vrindavan. And he had been anticipating for so many years trying to come. Nityananda Prabhu tricked him. He wanted to come to Vrindavan just after taking sannyas. Nityananda Prabhu tricked him, directed him to Shantipur, and then came to Jagannath Puri. So Lord Chaitanya actually yearned to be in Vrindavan, and he could only come in the 5th year after taking sannyas. Actually, right? So he had been great longing, and now he wanted to be in Vrindavan for longer time, but then his personal servant was inconvenienced to a great degree. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya, in order to live by the gratitude, he decided, yes, we'll leave Vrindavan. So now I would like to ask you all a question. I would like to keep some interaction over here. How do you feel when some leader, when some very senior devotee expresses gratitude to you for your service? How do you feel? Maybe in just short, in 1 or 2 lines or 1 or 2 words. Take the microphone. You can raise the hand and take the microphone. Just like to hear from 2, 3 devotees. Okay, here you can give to Anand Prabhu and then Prabhu over there. And then we'll hear from some mothers.
Become more enthusiastic in service.
Okay, we become more enthusiastic when we hear those words of gratitude, appreciation. Thank you, Anand Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Similar, Prabhuji.
Okay.
We feel more dedication towards him.
Okay,
And
more
we want to
greater
sacrifice
dedication
for him.
Yes, greater dedication, a spirit of sacrifice is kindled. Thank you. From Vaishnavi side.
Initially, we feel very embarrassed,
Okay.
and then we take it as a blessing that that'll help us. Do
Okay,
service.
okay, thank you. So it could be very embarrassing. Someone like senior, like some senior leader or Guru Maharaj sometimes may appreciate out of gratitude. Could be embarrassing, but also we take it as a blessing. Okay, good. Yes, one more sharing from yes.
Yes. I feel very insignificant.
Oh, okay, we feel insignificant. Okay, humbled by that. Actually, we should live up to what that person is actually expressing. We may not. It could be like, as I said, the devotees have this nature to magnify a small good. To magnify a small good. Yes.
Encouraged and
Oh, we feel encouraged and
validated.
okay, validated. Encouraged and validated. Yes, kind of what I'm trying to, the way I'm trying to serve, it is pleasing to my senior superiors. Okay, great. Fine.
More responsible.
Okay, more responsible. Thank you. So we got so many inputs. So in this way, the gratitude, whenever the leaders they express gratitude, it is very encouraging, aspiring. We feel more responsible, validated, and so on. We shared that wonderful inputs. So the point is, actually there is a one case study. Is one case study I want to share. This is also connected with the devotee care. It's related. There is the husband and wife. The wife approached the mentor and said, "Actually, I work so hard. Sometime I cook various dishes, and my husband eat it all. He never speaks a word of gratitude, never a word of thanks." So the mentor approached the husband. He said, "Well, your wife works so hard. Can you sometime be grateful and speak out?" He said, "I eat so nicely. That is my gratitude." Right? I ate so much. That is the gratitude. And, there is, that is quite obvious. I don't have to speak it out. What's the need of speaking it out? So that was the conception. At times, when I've eaten nicely, it's quite obvious. And we have been married for last 15 years. Do I still need to speak out everything? She should be able to understand it, that I really liked it. But at times, there is actually, we should be more generous in speaking our appreciation. Right? As leaders, we can actually cultivate that generosity. To be more generous in speaking out verbally speaking out our appreciation, the words of gratitude, because it is actually very encouraging and inspiring and empowering. We see there are so many examples of Lord Chaitanya's gratitude. To the extent he says, "I have learned the science of pure devotional service from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, whom we made the devotee. He has shown me the highest limit of devotional service." Lord Chaitanya says, appreciating Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Lord Chaitanya empowers crows to become Garudas. Kakere Garud kare aiche kaun hai? Who else can empower the devotees like person can? So leader can actually inspire by appreciation, gratitude. Even the crows can become like Garudas and empowered by that. So like that. So this is one great quality, and we can consciously cultivate it as leaders. Be more generous in expressing our gratitude and appreciation for others. So this is the first quality. And the second quality, leadership quality of Lord Chaitanya is his respect to the devotees. Respect. Of course, we know that the Vedic culture is a culture of respect, and disrespect leads to disaster. Prabhupada writes in one of the Bhagavatam purports, disrespect to a chaste woman means disaster. And we see that how Ramayana and Mahabharata, two great wars, have been fought because of disrespect to a chaste lady, right? Mother Sita and Draupadi. So disrespect leads to disaster. So there is a pastime, a beautiful pastime, how Lord Chaitanya, he defeated the Digvijay scholar Keshav Kashmiri. And we all know the pastime, there was a conversation between them. And when Lord Chaitanya pointed out several faults in his composition, where he glorified Mother Ganges, he was dumbfounded. He could not speak. He was a great scholar, but he could not speak. And all the students of Lord Chaitanya now wanted to laugh at Keshav Kashmiri. Naturally, now he has been defeated. He wanted to laugh. As soon as they were about to laugh, Lord Chaitanya forbade them. तबे शिष्यगण सब हसीते लागिला तास बारन निषेधी प्रभु कबीरे कहिला. He said, no, don't laugh, don't laugh. Then Lord Chaitanya began glorifying Keshav Kashmiri. He says, Tomara kavitvayen ganga jaladhar, Toma sam kavi kotha nahi dekhi yaar. Your poem glorifying, your poetry glorifying Mother Ganges is like actually flow of Ganges. You spoke. Your poem itself is like the flow of Ganges. I have never seen a poet like you. I have never seen a poet like you. And then he said, there are always some faults. Even in the composition of great poets like Chandidas, Kalidas, Jayadev, Lord Chaitanya says there are always some faults in their composition. But never mind. One takes the poem on the strength of, its subject matter. And there could be some fault that should be neglected, Lord Chaitanya says. See how Lord Chaitanya is so, such a great scholar. Earlier he gave the example. He said, your poetry may be very great, but even if there is one small fault, everything is rubbish. He said, one fault destroys it all. It's just like a spot of leprosy on the body. A person may be very beautiful, but a spot of leprosy makes it ugly. And now he says, never mind all these small faults. There are faults in great compositions. He just turns the whole thing around. He is Nimai Pandit. No one can win over with him in arguments. So therefore now he wants to actually appreciate and therefore neglects the fault and says your poetry is just genius. So and then he says further, he says, actually today you traveled for a long distance, must be so tired. So therefore, if a person is tired, he may commit some mistake. You go and take rest, nice rest. We'll continue tomorrow with the discussion. We'll continue tomorrow. You'll be able to even speak with greater ingenuity and so on. And then finally, Lord says, just see to what extent he wants to comfort Keshav Kashmiri, who is feeling actually humiliated. He wants to comfort him by saying, Shashava chapalya kichu na labeya mar, shishera samana muina han tomar. He said, do not take my childish impudence to be very seriously. Lord Chaitanya says, I am just a small child compared to you, Digvijay. You are a great scholar. I am just a kindergarten teacher, but you are a prof. So don't take my impudence, childish impudence to be seriously. I am not on the level of your student also. Even your students are more brilliant and scholarly than me. So don't take my childish impudence seriously. Your poem is actually so great. Because Lord Chaitanya did not disrespect him and actually, he actually respected him. He reinstated, he felt humiliated, but then he comforted him, spoke such respectful words. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, all the scholars whom Lord Chaitanya defeated, he never disrespected any one of them. And therefore, they could take shelter of him because he did not disrespect them. He was always very respectful. Even though he corrected, he was always very respectful. Even when the Gundicha margin was going on, it is mentioned, Lord Chaitanya would seeing that some devotees, they are cleansing the temple very nicely, and others devotees are not doing it so well. Bhala karma dekhi tare kare prashamsan, mane nami lile kare pavitra bratsan. So when he appreciated those who are doing very nice cleaning, But those who were not able to do that, the Lord, he chastised them, or he corrected them, but Pavitra Bhratsan, Pavitra means very pure, without holding any grudge, without any disrespect. So it's not easy actually. When you want to correct somebody, what happens is the grudge of our own heart comes forth. And we often become disrespectful in giving correction to somebody. And this often comes. So therefore, as leaders, we need to see this, imbibe, meditate on this quality of Lord Chaitanya, that even though he defeated and corrected so many people, he was always respectful. Always respectful. And therefore, all of them actually surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. It was much easy for them to take shelter of him, to surrender to him. So, I would like some of you to recall some incident from Prabhupada's pastime of his respectful dealings with his disciples. Someone would like to share some pastime of Prabhupada would have been very respectful. Yes, okay. and then one Prabhu from this side. Yeah, we can keep the mic with the devotees.
Hare Krishna. One time Prabhupada was personally cooking for a UN rep who had come, and he came on time. And Prabhupada had put a new bhakta to say that don't let anybody else come upstairs. I'm cooking. Don't let me be disturbed.
Okay.
And he was cooking for a couple of hours. Then UN rep, I believe, came on time. And the bhakta didn't let him go upstairs to see Prabhupada.
Okay.
He waited for some time and then he went away. And then Prabhupada came to know that the person had come and gone, and he got little angry, but he didn't say anything to New Bhakta. He said, if that was the fate, so be it, and never discouraged his disciple.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Of course, Prabhupada would sometimes even hard like thunderbolt also. He was sensitive to individual probably. Right? But yes, he was respectful, Prabhupada, towards everyone. Yes, Prabhu? Who is sharing? Okay, here. Oh, who has the mic? Someone else also raised hand behind.
Prabhupada always addressing his disciples as Maharaj and Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhupada would address his disciples who had taken sannyas from him as Maharaj. And disciple also Prabhu. And even Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur, when his disciples would offer him obeisances, how would he respond? Dasosmi, I am a servant. Like that. So, respect. So, we can see that Prabhupada, we can find out several pastimes of Srila Prabhupada dealing with devotees in a very respectful way. So, the third quality I like to highlight of Lord Chaitanya as a world leader, as an ideal leader, is that of his empathy. What is empathy? Empathy actually is one of the core Vaishnava qualities, which means paradukha dukhi, to feel the pain of others. That is empathy. So it's actually a great virtue. It's a great virtue, and which naturally, when the heart becomes soft by devotional service, a devotee becomes very sensitive to others' pain. So that's a great quality of empathy. But so as I said, in due course of time, these Vaishnava qualities are imbibed as we go on practicing. But important thing is, till we imbibe them, we understand the importance and we act as per those qualities. And that also strengthens our practice of devotional service. Just like Rupa Goswami says, Utsaha Nishchaya Dharya Tat Karma Parvartanat Sangatyaga Sato Vritte Shadvid Bhakti Prasiddhati. These practice of these qualities strengthen our devotional service. So bhakti is working in two ways, in, out, out, in. But practice of devotional service, we develop good qualities. But at the same time, when we practice Vaishnava qualities, it helps them to imbibe them and strengthen our practice of devotional service. So both ways, two-way process. Just like Prabhupada would say, if you don't feel enthusiastic, act enthusiastically. He would often say. So therefore, this Vaishnava quality of empathy, as as leaders, at least there is one important aspect that we can be empathic in our response. When someone comes and shares, their difficulties, struggle, and challenges, we can be empathic in our response. So I would like to give an example again from Chaitanya Charitamrita. During one of the yatras, Shivanand Sen would bring the yatra, and there would be delays, so many inconveniences. One time, Nityanand Prabhu lost his temper. And of course, there's a pastime of Nityanand Prabhu, and he kicked Shivanand Sen because there was delay in arranging accommodation and prasadam. And Shrikant Sen, who is the nephew of Shivanand Sen, he could not take that. He said, Nityanand Prabhu is outrightly bossing over. This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable, he said. And therefore, he left the party to lodge a complaint. He said, my mama, my maternal uncle, he's no longer an ordinary person. He's just not any ordinary devotee. He's a Parshad of Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Nityanand Prabhu can't behave like this with him. So he left the party to lodge a complaint ahead. And when he came, he was wearing a outer jacket, pitangi, and he offered his obeisances. And Govinda reminded him that etiquette would be you remove that outer jacket and then offer obeisances. So Govinda kind of spoke, Shrikant, have you forgotten the right etiquette? But when Lord Chaitanya heard, he immediately corrected not Shrikant but Govinda. He said, Prabhu ka he Shrikant asiya che payo manoduk kichu na baliya karuk yate ihar sukh. He said, actually he is in a disturbed state of mind. His mind is agonized. Therefore, you don't instruct him. Let him do whatever makes him happy. So now Lord Chaitanya himself is a very ideal, but at this point of time he understands that this person is in a disturbed state of mind. Therefore, do not instruct him. So one important understanding we get from here is that when a person is in a disturbed state of mind, that person needs some acknowledgement and affection. That okay, this disturbed you. I can understand. This indeed is something which can disturb our hearts. Some kind of acknowledgement and words of affection. So Lord Chaitanya acknowledged his disturbance of the mind. He acknowledged that yes, he's in disturbed state of mind. His mind is agonized, and out of his affection said, "Let him do whatever makes him happy. Don't instruct him. Don't correct him. So they said the connection comes before correction. Connection. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya established the connection with Shrikant Sen over here by his empathic response, by acknowledging that he's in a disturbed state of mind, and by the affectionate words that let him do whatever makes him happy. And that pacified Shrikant Sen. So here we learn something important, especially when people are disturbed. And of course, they're not disturbance in Kali Yuga, especially mental disturbance, are at great rise. People, the mind is agitated by so many circumstances, so many people, so many words, and so many incidents, so many sharings, so many postings, all that, constantly disturb the mind, agitate the mind. So when a person's mind is agitated, what they need more than instruction is affection, someone affectionate response, which is empathic response. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya, by his empathic response, he comforts Shrikant Sen, and Shrikant Sen understands, the Lord Chaitanya understands, he has understood my heart, and therefore he doesn't complain also. He was completely pacified. So when actually just by acknowledgement, I have seen that several times, a person may be in a disturbed state of mind, agitated, and we may have no solution to that. But if we can just empathize, really this has been so disturbing to you, I really feel your pain. Just to say to the person, I really feel your pain, empathic response actually relieves all the pain. Most of the pain is relieved. Without even providing the solution, by just being empathic. So this is one example. And this is the third quality I shared of Lord Chaitanya, of empathy. Okay, I would like to hear from some of you some example of empathic response which you have experienced. from someone, or you comforted somebody, whatever way, either way. I could share something about some empathic response. Okay, behind. Or Adikesha Prabhu, would you like to speak? I would like to hear from as many devotees as possible. Adikesha Prabhu.
I just remember once, I was making an effort for something and I took the blessings. Oh, yes, very nice. There's nothing wrong. I just said that I want to become famous.
Okay.
So he said, there's nothing wrong in being famous. Try. And I tried and I failed. And miserably failed. And when I went back, I thought there will be something, So what he said is, you're coming out of illusion. So this I felt was a very affectionate and encouraging type of a...
Okay, fine. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Once Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj came to Jodhpur and I was massaging him. I was at that time youth preacher. And during the massage, I was massaging his head. So the oil, somehow or other, I am taking oil from the bottle and that whole oil on the Maharaj kurta.
Spilled.
Yes.
So all the oil spilled on his kurta.
And I was totally, I cannot, shocked, bewildered, what to do now. And I was expecting the great chastisement, or I was thinking that I will go to sleep. Maharaj saw my situation. Immediately Maharaj kurta ko utara unhone. Lekin just saw my situation. Maharaj said, you done nothing. He said like that you done nothing. I was thinking that how I have done nothing, I have done everything. But immediately I become calm down. That Maharaj, and I really, I saw that great quality, that how they react in such situation. And I was comparing with myself that how I deal with others. So it's a really different thing.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Right. Even Srila Prabhupada would often comfort the devotees by saying, think nothing of it. When they would be in discomfort, they would commit some mistake, Prabhupada would say, think nothing of it. Yeah, so thank you for sharing that empathic response. Minimize your mistake, Maharaj. Comforted you. So yes, this is another great quality of acting by empathy. The fourth quality which I would like to highlight in Lord Chaitanya as a leader is his absorption. His Vrajbihari Prabhu gave a seminar yesterday on conflict resolution. I heard another of his seminar in which he mentioned a point which was really striking. He said there is an ongoing and ever increasing need for the leaders to absorb themselves in hearing, chanting, remembering and worshipping Krishna. In one of the forms of bhakti, there is an ongoing and ever increasing need for the leaders to absorb themselves at least some point of the time, some point of the day. The leader should feel absorbed. And it's not easy because of the multiple responsibilities and so on. It's not easy. But then we have to prioritize and, keep that sacred time and space which others will also get to respect. We need to figure out a sacred time and space where we can be absorbed in hearing, chanting, remembering or worshipping Krishna. So now of course this absorption doesn't mean inactivity. One can even be absorbed while handling, multiple projects. Prabhupada himself is a brilliant example. I would like to give an example from CC. While Lord Chaitanya is cleansing the Gundicha temple, it's mentioned, Prema Veshe Prabhu kahe Krishna Krishna Naam, Akele Prema Veshe kare Nushat Janera Kam, he was absorbed, completely avesh, completely absorbed, and he was continuously chanting the Lord's name. While his mind is absorbed in Krishna and chanting his name, alone he is doing the work of 100 people. So there is absorption with intensity over here. So in general, the absorption, when we can find out some time, it may not be possible like this when there is a lot of activity to absorb themselves, because we need to focus on the task. But at least when we take out some time and we are absorbed, that can increase the intensity of our devotional service and the intensity of our contribution to Prabhupada. So therefore, absorption can increase the intensity, as demonstrated by Lord Chaitanya over herein. Well, I like to ask you, maybe one or two sharings. How do you feel after you had some absorbing katha, kirtan, deity worship? How do you feel when you had some absorption for some time? 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. Someone like to share that? Okay, Achyut Mohan Prabhu.
Blissful and satisfied.
Okay, so we feel blissful and satisfied. Thank you. Something else? Yes, okay. Yes, even you can speak out loudly to save time. Okay, we feel nourished. We feel nourished. And then when we are nourished, we can actually give. So self-nourishment is important. Yes, Prabhu. Take the mic.
Very charged up.
Okay, we feel very charged up, right? So we feel very charged up. And of course, we need to charge up. Because by the nature that... Okay, Hare Krishna, yes. Sorry? More focus in chanting. More focus in chanting. So absorption leads to even... Okay, yes, Prabhu.
When such a absorbing anything happens, then we feel filled, and when anything happens, so our response is very apt, a very spiritual response, which should be there actually.
Okay, good. That's a good point. That our response when we have some absorption and we are feeling nourished and charged, our response to situation will also be very apt as per Vaishnava expectation or Vaishnava behavior. Fine, thank you for sharing. It said that in Vrindavan, for Vrindavan, there would be some disturbance coming continuously. But because they were absorbed in Krishna, na vindan bhava vedanam kurvante ramamanascha Krishna katha Krishna. There is a beautiful verse. I'm just forgetting the first line. Iti nandadayo gopa Krishna ram katha mudam kurvante ramamanascha na vindan bhava vedanam. Because they were absorbed in Krishna and Balram and their katha, though there were many causes of disturbances and tribulations, they did not realize it. Na vindan bhava. So the problem there in everyone's life, the problem weighed differently on different minds. You see, the problem is different weight. It's like the mass and the weight are two separate things. Different gravity, weight is different, but the mass is the same. So the problem is the same, but it could weigh differently on different minds. When the mind is absorbed, the same challenge or difficulty doesn't weigh too much. And therefore our response could be, may not be a strong reaction. We can deal appropriately when it doesn't weigh too much on the mind. So therefore absorption, lighten up the mind, and we can deal with that situation, circumstances in a more Vaishnava way, in a more considerate, sensitive, more apt way, basically. So that is the quality of absorption. And we see how Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada, they were absorbed while leading the world movement. Prabhupada would remain absorbed in Krishna. So several examples. And the last quality which I would like to touch upon of Lord Chaitanya, which is described in this particular verse also, as a leader, he would teach by example. Apani shodhena Prabhu shikhana sabhare. By his own example, he would teach. So, his Guru Das Prabhu has written a book on Prabhupada entitled By His Example. The book title is By His Example. How Prabhupada led the movement, led the devotees by his example. So, in general, there is a huge supply of instruction much beyond its demand. And there is a huge scarcity of good example. So there is ample instruction in this world, mismatch of demand and supply. The demand of instruction is less, but the supply is more. But the demand of good example is much more, but the supply is less. Therefore, a good example is a great is a great preaching actually. It's that one good example speaks more than 1,000 words. So I remember, I want to give one example of that, a disparity of demand and supply between example and instruction. In one of the devotee communities I was traveling, the devotee coordinating Bhagavatam class, he asked me, can you give Bhagavatam class tomorrow? He said. I said, thoda pehle bataya hota, you would have to ask me little before, I would have been better. He said, actually, I had to cancel someone Bhagavatam class. I said, why? And he said, I have very few speakers. I said, but I see there's a big community and many senior devotees. But he said, I have very few speakers whom I can offer Bhagavatam class to. I said, what is the reason? He said, there have been many devotees whom I would give Bhagavatam classes, but then the community devotees, they would come and they would say, look how this person is acting. And several community devotees would say, this person is acting just against what he spoke. You should never give him Bhagavatam class. He said, so many devotees got ruled out in that way. I have a very small list of devotees whom I can offer Bhagavatam class because most community devotees don't want to hear from that person because of this disparity and not being able to exemplify. Actual case study from one of the community. So devotee shared with me. So yes, so actually we will as leaders, what people are looking is actually an example. That speaks much louder as we discuss. We're looking for an example. A good example without speaking anything does a loud preaching. So Lord Chaitanya is the most exemplary leader. We all know Lord Chaitanya is the most exemplary leader. Prabhupada is the most exemplary leader. And therefore they inspired the hearts of thousands and continue to inspire the hearts of thousands and the millions, basically. So Lord Chaitanya, as the most exemplary leader, he led this whole Gundicha cleaning by his own example. He called all the devotees and he informed them one day before that tomorrow we'll be doing Gundicha temple cleaning. All the devotees assembled. Shri haste dila sabare ek marjani sab gan laya prabhu chalila apani. The Lord first of them offered, a garland to everyone and they were going to do cleaning work. He offered them a sandalwood paste and a garland even before the cleaning work would begin. And then he gave a broom in everyone's hand. Quite a striking combination. I was thinking, sandalwood paste and a nice garland, and then Lord Chaitanya handed a broom in everyone's hand. Anar pe charim charat. No other avatar has given a broom in the hand of a devotee. But and Lord Chaitanya held the broom in his own hand also. His own hand. So at every front we see in this particular verse, in this whole particular pastime, Lord Chaitanya led the cleansing of the Gundicha temple as a very exemplary leader by his example. So in this way, an exemplary leader actually leads the devotee's heart. He actually reigns over the devotee's heart. As we said in the beginning, that Parikshit Maharaj addresses, Shukdev Goswami addresses Parikshit as Rajan, one who rules over the hearts of citizens by his good qualities. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya is ocean of many good qualities. I have touched upon these 5 qualities where he exemplifies great leadership. The first one being his gratitude. The second is his respect to all. The third, empathy. The fourth, absorption. And the fifth, teach by example. So the acronym to remember is GREAT. Lord Chaitanya is that great leader who teaches in this way to all of us and shows us the way to move forward in this age of Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Hare Hare. once again, thank you very much. Really grateful for this opportunity, and I'd like to request our esteemed Maharajas to please share some comments or corrections. Can on the mic. Yes, still have 2 minutes. So 1 minute for both of you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for this wonderful lecture. Actually, we had many qualities from Chaitanya Prabhu, especially the empathy, how to encourage juniors. We always learn how to deal with devotees, who are junior to us, senior to us, and same level with us. So I think we learn from Prabhu how to deal with juniors, and to always encourage and try to bring out what is inside people that can feel valued. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you Maharaj for your words.
Hare Krishna. So that point was very good. That people think when someone is absorbed, then absorption leads to laziness. That's why Prabhupada said, too much sadhana, no seva, then you become lazy. And too much seva and no sadhana, you become crazy. And ISKCON is not meant for lazy and crazy people.
Yes.
But now, Mahaprabhu is absorbed, but is very active. So it's a very good blend. And as a missionary and as a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should imbibe this. Because always you go into other directions, disconnect. Absorption and contribution. So when you have the blend of these two aspects, then we become really the follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Thank you. I feel blessings of Lord Chaitanya coming through your words. Thank you, Maharaj. We end over here. Do we request some other devotees to share something? Or we better end over here? We better end over here. Okay, good. So once again, thank you so much. Jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.